Welcome to WWP Clips. This is the official Clips channel for We Want Picks. We will be uploading our individual fight breakdown videos here, so make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our content. And as always, go to wewantpicks.com/bets, sign up with any one of our 5 betting partners, make a deposit, and we send you $50 as a thank you. Next up, at UFC Vegas 58, we have Jared Vanderaa taking on Chase Sherman. Jared Vanderaa is 12-8 overall, 1-4 in his last 5, riding a 3-fight skid. Chase Sherman is 15-10 overall, 1-4 in his last 5, riding a 4-fight skid. And a lot of you, I can see this comment section now, a lot of you are going to have all sorts of snarky, wise-ass comments about these guys and their skills. And the reality is, though, they're gamers. They both have stepped up on short notice multiple times to save a fight. I don't want to say save a card because they didn't save a card, but they've stepped up on short notice to keep a fight together. They went in there, they risked it all, and neither one of these guys are in boring fights. They go out there and they put it on the line. So I got to appreciate them for that. I'm going to break it down accordingly. Jared Vanderaa is a volume striker who built his pre-UFC career on his grappling. And breaking down his UFC fights versus his fights in the regional scene, you're going to think you're looking at 2 different guys. Now, in the UFC, he's a striker. Full-blown, busy striker. He dominated Justin Tafa. Had a real close fight with Andrei Arlovski that a lot of people think he won. He outlanded Andrei Arlovski 70-64. He is coming off that submission loss to Alexei Olenek, where he still managed to double Alexei's strikes before he was submitted. And frankly, there was just some poor fight IQ moments that led to that. He's got a long jab, solid distance control, and clean striking, in addition to the fact that he's enormous and has decent wrestling in his back pocket. And he hasn't showcased that wrestling yet, but he does have it, and it is there. Chase Sherman, he's a good boxer, solid foot movement and speed. He does not have a ton of power, but he does have volume, and he just does not stop throwing his hands until the last bell. Even if he's exhausted and slowing down, he's still putting those hands out there. Outside of that short notice fight with Alexander Romanov, Chase has had solid takedown defense, but he doesn't have any head movement at all, which is why he is hit with more than 6 significant strikes per minute, which is nuts. That's a lot of punches to the face being landed. And I appreciate Chase Sherman, and every fight he's had in the UFC has been entertaining. He was cut by the UFC about a month ago now, 2 months, something like that. But then he stepped up on short notice for that Romanov fight, and that gave him second life in the promotion. I do think he's going to lose here. I'm pretty sure he's going to be cut again. And I think this entire fight just comes down to volume. I think Chase may have the higher output, but I think Jared's going to land more. I think he's going to touch up Chase, continue coming forward. Chase doesn't move his head. I think he's going to wear it. So I like Jared Vanderaa to win a strike-heavy decision. And what's really interesting about the UFC's heavyweight division recently is there's the upper echelon guys. Then there's that whole pack in the middle being led by Andrei Arlovski, where every single one of those fighters is just a volume striker. Every single one. And there's like 7 of them. This is more of that. I think Jared Vanderaa wins, but listen, almost 2-1 odds, 8,600 in DraftKings. It's a little inflated. What do you think, Jackie boy?
Yeah, I'll let your breakdown speak for both of us, because I have no notes on this fight. I told you I hate girl fights. I'm not betting on heavyweight fights anymore. Both these guys are pretty much the same guy in my mind. I'm going Chase Sherman just for the hell of it, staying away from it completely. Moving on.
Okay. Always with the valuable insight. And what always impresses me about you is just how prepared you are.
You know the difference between ordinary and extraordinary, Angelo, is?
What is that?
It's just that little extra. Just that little extra.
Yeah. Well, we definitely appreciate the incredible insight that you brought to this fight. Very, very helpful. I'm not going to have Jared Vanderaa $8,600 in DraftKings. The reality is Chase Sherman's pretty tough guy. And Jared Vanderaa is not Alexander Romanov. Odds definitely feel inflated. This may be, I dropped the pen. This may be a +3.5 situation where Chase Sherman can win a round with volume. And this may be a split decision. The reality is this could look exactly like Jared Vanderaa versus Andrei Arlovski. Super close, striking match where a judge will give a little bit of a nod. and you can hit the bet. So I'll take a look and see what that plus 3.5 bet is. Again, you've heard me say this a million times, but just in case
Minus
you haven't.
115.
Minus 115. That's not terrible. And all that means is Chase Sherman just has to win one round. If Chase Sherman can win one round on the judges' scorecard, which is plausible, I hit the bet. So I'll look at that. I'll explore that. We'll see what that how I'm feeling about that later in the week.
Do you see a finish? I don't see a finish in this fight.
No.
And goes the distance is plus 150. It's minus 180 for does not go the distance, which is interesting because I think these guys are just sloppy slugging it out for 3 rounds.
That is very surprising. I think I am going to bet the what's the round line? 1.5?
2.5. Over 2.5 is plus 115, but you can just get goes the distance for plus 150.
Yeah, I may jump on that because I mentioned there's like a giant pack of fighters in the middle of the heavyweight division. Andrei Arlovski beat every single one of them, and it's just volume striking. That's all it is. It's just volume striking. No finishes, tons of
right.
volume.
Because I mean, the first thing when I saw this matchup, I just imagined just 3 rounds, just against the cage, just sloppy, laying on each other, or in the distance, just boom, 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 volume. So that's one that I might enter. That's probably gonna be one of my live bets. So if you guys follow me on my Twitter or whatever, like as the fight approaches, that's probably what I'm gonna play right before that fight starts. And I hate playing goes the distance bets. I usually like trying to pick the does not go the distance, but that might be one I play because I don't see these. Neither one of these guys are like knock your lights out guys.
Neither one. Nope, neither one. Yeah, DraftKings, I'm probably not going to touch it, but again, I've said it 10 times, not a lot of fighters on this card, so you're going to have some people you don't love in your DraftKings lineup. More on Monkey Knife Fight is probably solid, but 78 is a tricky line, so I'm not going to touch Monkey Knife Fight. Yeah, you guys let me know in the comment section what you think about that Monkey Knife Fight strike line, because Jared has probably landed more than 78 in every single one of his decisions, and I think it goes to a decision. If you are confident, you want to check that out, weontpicks.com/MKF. They will instantly match your deposit up to $100.